Well, it's the second week and the weather's improved, as you can see behind me. Beautiful day. This is Cwmorthin Quarry. But yeah, there's some interesting old buildings around. I guess it's sort of a man-made lake there from the quarry in. And it all really depends on where the light's coming from. The sun's up there, so it's quite harsh. So I really don't want to be shooting towards the sun because you're going to get a lot of contrasts and shadows. Side light is good actually. I did take a shot of the first old slate building as I came in there. And that was getting some side light, so that had some interesting shadows there. So I'm going to wander around. There's an old slate, maybe a chapel. So I'm going to have a look at that one. But yeah, I think I do want to come back here on a moody day at another time. So I imagine this place would be great. I'm just making my way back through the quarry here, and this scene caught my eye. You've got a path which is curving, kind of like an S-curve towards that slate building on the right, and there's two trees on the left there. And to me that looks like a 4x3 or square composition. I've focused on this near rock here with the moss on top, and again in the background, so I'm going to focus stack those two. But I just like this scene here. The light is quite harsh, so hence the building is very much in shadow, so there's not a lot I can do about that. So I may see what it looks like in black and white, so that they may look quite moody then. But yeah, I can imagine on a much moody day when the weather is cloudier, this scene works really well. And maybe in the autumn, once the grass here turns that golden brown colour. You can see the farmer up high in the mountain now, the side of the mountain, herding his sheep. There must be several hundred sheep up there. Yeah, hopefully I've got a photo. I did take a panorama, very quick, handheld on my long lens. Very peaceful. Just hear this trickle of water behind me here. Yeah, such a calm day. There's hardly a breath of wind. Beautiful here. I mean, it's like the slate world amongst the natural, beautiful landscape. I like that contrast you get. I'm at Dorothea Quarry in Snowdonia. This is an old disused slate quarry. It's been abandoned for about, I think, 70 years, something like that. Maybe 50 years. Yeah, you've got the old pit there is kind of now just a small lake, in effect. You can see in the background there one of the old slate buildings up on that ridge. But I'm going to have a wander around here. There's a lot to explore here. I've been here before, but again, it's different kind of weather today. It's really foggy this morning. There's still some fog on the top of the hills there, so I should be able to get some nice moody photos of the quarry area here. To my side here, this is an old disused pump house, I think it is. Yeah, but it's over 50 years since it was last used. So you can see how nature has just reclaimed the building for itself. You can see all the climbing ivy, there's trees breaking their way through the building. The human element with nature taken over. Yeah, I've taken a few photographs here. These are ideal conditions actually. It's very moody here. It's very calm. There is thick cloud. There's a bit of fog up there, but yeah, it's much easier to balance the light and exposure in conditions like this, especially in a woodland setting. Yeah, it's peaceful here as well. It does remind me of kind of like the dwarf lands in Lord of the Rings. The old slate buildings amongst all this nature. I did come here 2 years ago and I did take some photos around this section here. So I've just passed through again and I just want to see if I can improve on those photos. Conditions are very similar. Maybe just a bit moodier today, but it is very calm. So I can use my tripod in lowest ISO setting and I can put the F number to about F8, F11 just to get enough depth in the scene. If I need to, I will focus stack. For example, that tree there is quite close to the camera there and I'll probably take another focus point here just to get the depth in the scene. So I think this, you really want to see the detail here. Yeah, it's just amazing. All these old slate buildings, you got moss and lichen growing everywhere. There's trees in the background making their way through the buildings here. Yeah, it's just amazing to explore here. Last few years I've been gradually building up a portfolio of photos in Snowdonia, more specifically around the Slate Quarries and mountainous regions surrounding it. It wasn't my goal initially when I first started to visit Snowdonia. I just became drawn to these places and over time I realised I'm building up a collection of photos. Hence I've been returning to those locations and just to try to add to that portfolio. Returning at different times of the year, different seasons, different weather conditions. Like today, it's been a very sunny day. The light fairly contrasty, I'd say, but I think I got some decent photos today to add to the portfolio. And at some point, I would like to display that somehow, somewhere, to show the work I've got here. It's good to have something to aim for, photo projects, rather than just aimlessly going out for a wander, which I do sometimes, and sometimes it's good just to go for a wander and see what you can capture. But it's also good to have a project going in the background, so you've got you've got something to work for. You've got a reason to visit those places. Amazing place to explore this. This is one of the many abandoned slate quarries in Snowdonia, Wales. Most of these abandoned for at least 50 years. Probably started quarrying back in the 1800s. Yeah, there's at least maybe half a dozen of these fairly large sized quarries. And a lot of them you can have a wander around. You have to be careful. As there's not a lot of health and safety here, but it's fairly safe as long as you stick to the main paths. But it's just fascinating to see all the old buildings, the slate buildings. You got the orange rusted roofs and the trees breaking through the buildings, making a home for themselves within the buildings, and nature's taken over. And I like the kind of contrast between the human element, the slate buildings, and the trees and the foliage. You got the green of the foliage and the slate blue-grey. I can imagine this will look even better in the autumn. When the foliage turns orange yellow brown against the slate blue-grey, that contrasts really nicely. So I think I'll have to return here one autumn.